Hamilton kind of ends really where Burr's, I think, intermission is, right after that duel, and Act Two would start on that rowboat, going back across the Hudson. So, there was quite a bit of that story that I've yet to tell, and if there was an interesting enough venue to tell that part of the story, I'd be open to it. That's for sure. I invested so much in the first act.
What's up, everyone? Tanya here with PopCulture.com, and I'm so excited to welcome the Oscar-nominated, Tony Award-winning actor and performer, best known for such hits as One Night in Miami and Hamilton. And pardon me, are you Aaron Burr, sir?
I'm actually not Aaron Burr, sir, but you know that. We've spoken a few times. I'm happy to see you. Thanks for making time.
Yes, Leslie Odom Jr., thank you so much for talking to us today. It's been such a while that we last spoke, and I know you've been keeping busy. So how have you been doing?
Oh, doing very well. This is even after the pandemic, because the pandemic was like a forced break for everybody. Mm-hmm. So the beginning of this year, I took a break by choice. So, without all the anxiety that the pandemic was, or the height of the pandemic, I should say. So I took, like 6 months kind of off to be home with a new baby and a very stressed out wife. Anyway, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm so happy. The babies are adorable. I love seeing them on social. You, Nicolette, you guys share such beautiful pictures of them. You have been diving into music a lot lately, and I'm so excited. So I want to talk to you about your upcoming event. You are performing in Nashville for the Nashville Symphony from May 26th to May 28th, with tickets on sale now. What can you tell fans about the show, and what can they expect?
Well, I've been on the road, believe it or not, with symphonies and orchestras for like the last 6 years, really, since leaving Hamilton. We would get these wonderful invitations. I think Boston was the first one we got, and we've been all over. We've been, all over the country, and it's a really a show that I'm proud of. It's a concert that first and foremost is designed to make sure people leave with a smile on their faces. But it's a special thing because it would be cost prohibitive for me to travel with an orchestra of my own. So really, as an artist who likes to do orchestral music and likes the collaboration of that, this is really the only way you can do it, is when you get these wonderful invitations. And so, as you said, we got an invitation to join the Symphony in Nashville for 3 nights, and I'm looking forward to it. We'll do Hamilton stuff from the records, some Sam Cooke stuff, really everything and anything I'm known for, and some stuff that I hope to be known for someday.
Yeah. And, jazz and Broadway are two of my personal favorite genres. I'm wondering, what went into deciding which songs to pick, since it is such an extensive catalog?
Yeah. Well, some of that is trial and error. Mm-hmm. Some of that is the stuff that we've learned works and satisfies over the years. And really, I had a teacher tell me a long time ago that the best stuff to sing is the stuff you want to hear, So it's the evening is shaped by my taste, for sure. The stuff that I'm inspired to sing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And I listen to a lot of 40s Junction on Sirius XM, and I know you're going to be singing one of my favorite Cab Calloway songs, Minnie the Moocher. And, that song made history for him. So I'm wondering, how do you take an old song like that, or even any classic for that matter, and just make it into your own without taking away what the song originally was?
Right. I think that some of that is just trusting that the way that it's going to come through you is valid and unique, just because it's coming through a different channel, a different instrument. And then I really do try to sing things that I have some sort of personal connection with, because in an evening like this, pretty singing, which is what I like to do when I can, singing only goes so far. People really, they come, I think, in search of a little more than that. So a personal connection goes a long way. Some way that the song touches or moves you, something about it that you find interesting or brings you joy. Yeah. And then people are coming to witness you sharing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you're singing Sam Cooke, another favorite of mine. Funny enough, you also portrayed him in Regina King's One Night in Miami, where you earned your Oscar nomination. And I'm wondering, like, what's it feel like singing the song of someone you've played and studied so intimately? Like, does it hit different, or does it come full circle?
Yeah, I never sang Sam's stuff before I played him. I never felt it wasn't that I didn't have a personal connection to it. I it wasn't in my rep. I wouldn't have attempted to sing a Sam Cooke tune before Regina asked me to play Sam. But as you said, after spending so much time with him, and well, certainly when Regina King believes in you, you have to find a way to believe in yourself.
Yes.
But after spending that much time with him, and people, for better or worse, having, if they've seen the film, having connected me to the repertory, I feel responsibility might be too strong of a word, but I certainly feel like that's not something I want to run away from.
Yeah.
The natural connection, obviously, if people have seen me in the film, that I'd like to celebrate the fact that I got to do that wonderful project, and celebrate the fact that I got to spend that time with Sam. So it's really that, just an homage. And I'm very grateful that, because but for having done the movie, I never would have put these songs in my set, in my repertoire ever.
Yeah. Is there a favorite Sam Cooke song you have?
I mean, Change Is Gonna Come is one of the, it's one of the
greatest
American pop songs of all time, really. It's like, Change Is Gonna Come, Imagine, What a Wonderful World. I mean, you know what I mean? There's a list of, we could probably, you and I could go back and forth and name them 10 or 15 songs that are shaped by the experiences and the geniuses we've made here on this soil. For better or for worse, and the change is going to come as one of them. So
there's a beautiful, weight to that. Like it's very satisfying. It's something that is just, it holds to you. Like it's, it carries with you a lot. So I just feel like it's something that's so important. And so I'm so excited that you're going to be singing these. You also will be singing Hamilton favorites. And of course, everyone loves Hamilton. That show has become such an influential piece of our culture that permeates in movies and TV. And, aside from the acclaim and when you strip it down, what does Hamilton mean to you?
Hamilton. Well, I mean, I was one of the first fans of the show, so I really get why people feel about the material the way they do, because I felt that first. It's what drew me to it. It's what made me so desperate to be a part of it. So it is. It's just foundational, and there's something about the thing that puts you on as an artist, the thing that feels in a way like it's your introduction to the world, the way in which the world meets you, that it's if you're lucky enough, the way all of us were, to be a part of something that people really adore and feel so personally connected to. I don't know. There's gratitude in it every time. I'm just so happy to sing the stuff. I'm so happy to have found my way to something so brilliant. I'm so grateful for that. So anyway, it's I love singing the Hamilton stuff. I don't mind it. I'm not sick of it. It's a real treat, especially, and to do it with a full orchestra in that way. It's a way that people have not heard the music before, because the orchestra that I'll be with next week is bigger than the orchestra we had even on Broadway.
Yeah. And you haven't had a chance to rehearse with them as yet, but I'm sure have you met any of the, symphony conductors and musicians, performers in there?
No, the way that those things work is that they rehearse before you get there. So they know your material very well. And these are the best musicians. You can't find a better musician than an orchestra player, an orchestral player. They quite literally in the audience, you're witnessing hundreds of thousands of hours of practice and preparation for that moment.
Yeah.
So they've rehearsed it already, and you come in that day and we rehearse during the day. We run things a maximum of 2 times. I bring my band with me. So my band is there. We've played the things hundreds, if not thousands of times, but that's all you need, 1 or 2 times to rehearse. And then, you're like a slingshot. That the day of the show, you're like, all those nerves and that curiosity that you have about whether it's going to work or you hope it comes together to make some sort of magic on the night.
And talking also about Hamilton, like just a little bit, like, would you ever want to return to the role of Aaron Burr or even portray him in some element? Because like, I asked that in the sense that your buddy Utkarsh Ambudkar, he's in the TV show Ghosts. And I don't know if you watch Ghosts, but there is a spirit in the series played by Brandon Scott Jones, who is actually obsessed with Hamilton. And he actually doesn't like Hamilton, but I think he would get along with Aaron Burr. So I'm just wondering, like, would you want to like ever reprise your role and maybe like some sort of element on TV, or if it's a movie or even a charity event or anything like that?
Yeah, I think I would. There's a great deal of that story that I still have yet to tell with Burr. The whole the show kind of ends. Hamilton kind of ends really where Burr's, I think, intermission is. I think the intermission for Burr is we go out right after that duel, and Act 2 would start on that rowboat, going back across the Hudson. So, there was quite a bit of that story that I've yet to tell. And if there was an interesting enough venue to tell that part of the story, I'd be open to it. That's for sure. I invested so much in the first act.
Yeah.
So I feel like, if there was a good enough writing and collaborators, I'd be happy to.
And with the musical event next week, what is one of the biggest takeaways you want fans to come back with from the show, watching the show and just experiencing everything with you?
I just want people to have a good time and to get to be in the same room with them, because a lot of people got introduced to the show on Disney Plus, and so that exchange that happens in a live performance, I didn't get to have with them. So I hope that people come out and we get to meet face to face.
Yeah, and it's been 2 years that we haven't really like done this in a long time, so it's going to be so welcoming. I know it. Before I let you go, I'm always having so much fun with you all the time, Leslie. I know you've been keeping busy with a lot of filming, including Knives Out 2, which is out this year, and I know it's very top secret, like MCU type. But like, what can you tease us about the film? I know you guys finished filming, and it should be out soon.
Yeah, well, I think that all I can say is, like, fans of the original. Ryan is trying to deliver another good yarn, another whodunit. It was just an incredible ensemble, a real murderer's row, pardon the pun. But we had the best time, and I'm as excited to see it as you are, really, because if any of the joy from the set shows up on the screen, I think we'll be in good shape.
Yeah. Well, I'm so excited. I know everyone will be so excited. And thank you, Leslie, so much. It's always so fun talking to you. Guys, for more with Leslie and how to get your tickets to see him perform with the Nashville Symphony next week, head to popculture.com for the latest.